Scorpio, this is your big issue reading for the year 2025. My name's Podkane, and if you're new here, the big issue of 2025. So instead of going through month by month and looking at every little detail that you will quickly forget, we are looking at the biggest issue that you will be facing this year. So first off, we're going to start with an archetype card. How is Scorpio showing up in 2025? Okay, fine. Scorpio. Angel. Also got the child, orphan, and the virgin cards here. But we're going to throw those back because we only want one. My husband's a Scorpio and I call him Angel. That's my nickname for him. Helping those in need with no expectation of return, shadow attribute, acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with the angelic guidance. Pretending like you innocent when you're not, because it did come out reversed, okay? What is the biggest issue that you're going to be facing? This is the so below deck, so we're looking at the material and physical aspects of this issue first, and then we're going to go on to the as above deck to look at the spiritual and emotional reasons why it's all happening and what you can do to get the highest, best outcome for yourself through this situation. Scorpio, their big issue. 2025. King Cups, that's you. And Page of Wands. You're at a point where you can be emotionally open and sensitive and share your feelings, but yet you feel like you're not being heard or you can't get that message out or you don't want to share that message. What's the challenge? What is standing in their way? What is coming up against them? What is blocking them? What is their hurdle that they have to face? The Devil reversed. Nine of Swords. Knight of Swords reversed. You have an unhealthy attachment to feeling like an outsider, to feeling like you're under attack, feeling like people are coming to harm you, people mean harm to you. It's feeling like you're lacking in safety and security. And it's an ongoing thing that's caused you a lot of harm, but you're attached to it. It's habitual. There's something compelling about it. What's the underlying reason why this happened for Scorpio? This big issue they're facing in 2025. I mean, you were just waiting for the other shoe to fall. Because a long time ago, people did mean you harm. And even though that's over with the world, with the Three of Wands, it's like it's always right around the corner and you're afraid you're not going to see it. You're just expecting betrayal everywhere because, you know, if you're watching this reading and if this resonates with you, you've been traumatized by someone that did mean you harm in your past. But it doesn't mean they're necessarily doing that now. What the world is over with. So, Two of Wands, what led to this? Like, what was the most recent thing that happened that led up to where you are now in 2025 with this issue? We got the Two of Wands and the Five of Wands reversed. I think you started to open up your horizons, especially when it came to not trying to argue or compete or fuss and fight anymore. You're looking for a way out of this habit. This conditional love relationship you have with other people or with yourself, where it's like you haven't got quite gotten to the point where you can unconditionally love others because you're always waiting for that betrayal. And that's kind of affecting the scenario. Also, you're just wanting something new. What are you thinking about? A lot. You're thinking about how you're communicating, especially especially if it's like online or in a public place. You're thinking about the ways that you communicate. What else is on Scorpio's mind through this situation? You're feeling like this is uncertain and unsteady for you. This is new territory. You don't have a lot of finesse with it. You're wanting to be more authentic. You're not trying to strategize against someone. You're not trying to trick anyone or play any games, but it also feels very like unstable. And you're thinking about that lack of stability when it comes to not having a strategy. Like you're so accustomed to strategically, checking where the door's at or just like holding people at arm's length. And with the King of Cups at the beginning, that's part of your strategy. So that if you're throwing that out the window, you feel very off base with that. And you're thinking about how that may have affected your stability. What's the thing that's most likely to happen next? You realize that this is a burden not worth having. I think you've already put in some work up to this point towards moving this way. Three of Pentacles, beautiful. You're working on your mastery of this. You really have put a lot of energy into this and you've already come so far. What are they mastering though? The Knight of Cups. Showing a positive and affirming message to others, having an ideal in your life, being open to hope, being open to romance and chivalry and positive expectations, wearing your heart on your sleeve, putting that into action. Damn, you're doing it. You're really doing it, okay? But then we got the angel. I think just before we go any further, I do feel like there may be a little bit of a mismatch between what you understand to be a Knight of Cups energy of putting your best foot forward and always trying to show a positive side of yourself and being more emotionally open, and what you're kind of thinking that may be, because that's not authenticity in emotional relation, in emotional expression and communication. You're thinking, I just need to be more positive. I need to tell people I love them more. I need to, do these types of things. But it's like part of the authenticity also does include saying, that made me sad. I feel scared about that. Sharing negative things as well. You don't have to pretend that you're some airy fairy little whatever. I don't even want to say another sign that I thought of. You don't have to pretend that you're anything other than who you are. What the goal is authenticity, emotional authenticity, and openness. That's what wearing your heart on your sleeve is. What are you afraid of? What? This is almost like you're afraid of being seen as, the world mother or something, like just a sensitive, compassionate little person. But there's something else. It's like mother issues here. Of like someone, especially a woman, being smarter than you. And somehow that has a part to play in this. What the fuck? Extremism. Not able to transform it. Not able to. Okay, so if you have mother issues around a mothering. Okay. It caused you to be very defensive. The, in order to get to this place where you can be totally emotionally open and authentic, it's necessary to transform your perception of how this hurt you. You got to rewrite that story. And it doesn't mean a denial of the truth. I know you're not going to fucking vibe with that, but it does mean taking the darkness from it and reminding yourself how strong that made you, how even the most difficult pain that it caused you over years and years and years, if that's the case, showed you how strong you could be, how you're still here, how you're a fighter, how you found your self-love after all of that, how you found your willingness to be vulnerable again after all of that. There's a little bit of that that still needs to be cleaned up. I do see that you have come pretty far in this, though. What is someone in a Scorpio's life that's showing up powerfully for them? Justice. Could be a Libra, but it's someone who's fair-minded and rational and well-balanced. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, nothing too much. They have independence, yet they are so emotionally open. They have an emotional offer for you. They are capable of just doing everything on their own, yet they love people enough and they love you enough to be a very emotionally affirming and supportive towards you. When you start showing this new side of yourself, they're gonna really fucking like vibe with you and affirm you in doing that. They're gonna be like, oh, thank you for telling me that. That meant so much to me that you were willing to share that with me. Like they're gonna see the change. They're, or if this is someone new, they're just going to be very like emotionally affirming. But you should know that like they're not doing this because they need something from you at all. They're Nine of Pentacles. They're completely self-sufficient and have mastery over themselves and their situation. They don't need your money. They don't need your house. They don't need your validation or anything like that. They're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. And because they are very people-oriented and fair-minded. And you can trust the fuck out of them also. You can trust what they're saying is legit. What is Scorpio hoping for in this situation? You want to be, if you want to come out from the cold, you want to feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. You want to go out, you get out of your fucking house. You want to be included in life. You want to participate in life. Oh man. And you want to get to the point where you also have that same, like this person has their mastery and their independence. They're self-sufficient. They love themselves so much that they can freely share authentically with others without expecting anything in return. You want that for yourself. They're very much like aspirational, to you as well. A good person to have around for this time in your life. What's the most likely outcome for Scorpio given this big issue in 2025 that they're going through? Page of Cups. You're going to be offering an emotionally positive message, positive emotional communication. What else? It's most likely to happen, Scorpio. Queen of Cups reversed. And Eight of Cups. And Six of Wands. Okay. 10 of Pentacles. Holy shit. You got great things coming. Great things coming. But here's the process of how it goes down. You start out by just sharing only emotional messaging, like positive emotional messaging, right? Gassing everybody up, doing this, doing that. But then you find with the reverse Queen of Cups that you still haven't quite figured out why you're still having depression issues or anxiety issues. And you realize that you need greater healing. So you undertake that. And part of that is by expressing it and letting it out, relying on someone crying on their shoulder. And part of that is by being willing to embarrass yourself. It'll feel like you're embarrassing yourself, but being willing to do that in order to, and to humble yourself too. You're not as strong as you would like others to think. I know you know that, but I think you'd be surprised to know that everyone else expects that from you. It's not that they exactly see how sensitive or how hurt you've been, but most people expect others to also be sensitive and have gone through some things. It's normal. It's as common as sand on the beach. And and it's okay. People will make space for you to share that vulnerability and humility, and they'll give you a lot of grace. So once you're willing to do that, you move on from this state of uncertainty and anxiety and turmoil. And at the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Pentacles. Everything that you could have wanted ever in your life is now accessible to you. The Ten of Pentacles is the generations. You take your place in the family. You take your place in the hierarchy of support and supporters, of teachers and students, of, beneficiaries and benefactors. You take your place in life, and you start to see your role in society and what value you have towards that greater group. This is big, but it's a long time coming. I think the major thing that we're seeing here in 2025 for you, as a major change for you, is that you're kind of unlocking now that next level of being willing to not just share positive emotional messaging, but share your fears and your worries and your anxieties and insecurities as well. Okay. It takes a lot of courage to do that if you're coming from a place of skepticism or being super guarded and traumatized, quite frankly. So, Scorpio, let's look at the spiritual and emotional aspects of what you are going through, this big issue for you, the biggest issue in 2025. Oh, I might need to replace these cards because that one is on its last legs. Scorpio 2025. How are you showing up from a spiritual perspective? Clarity is forthcoming. With Neptune reversed as well, it's like you were always kind of in those realms of dark waters and intuition and the darker things of life. I think it's actually very challenging for you. Your challenge is to not change yourself. The Death reverse, the Death card is your card. Your challenge is to not change yourself. That's not the goal here. The goal is to change how openly you communicate with others, but it's not to change who you are. Because I know that it's likely that your darker thoughts have been rejected by people in the past. And you may feel like that's something that you want to change about yourself. But I would suggest from this and just even my own experience that that's not, it feels like it should be the goal to protect yourself from, and others too, to some extent, from hurt and hurt feelings and pain. But not everyone is going to be on your level. You're not going to be everyone's vibe. That's okay. For you to feel ultimately comfortable with those darker parts of yourself, it's time that you start seeing how much they make you unique and special, how they give you your own special perspective, and how they benefit you in certain aspects and situations. Why is this the time? What has led up to this spiritually for Scorpio? Like, why is this spiritually the time now for them? You've gotten mastery over, fucking depression and hopelessness. You've mastered your depression and your hopelessness. You've mastered you've come to a place where you've experienced so much of the darkness and poured so much out in sorrow and pain and suffering that you understand it so fucking well. That I think that's actually one of your things of why you're so, if you have these darker thoughts and perspectives and stuff as a Scorpio, I think that is actually one of your greatest gifts of testimony to humanity. No one else can do it like you do it in the terms of understanding the darkest side that humanity can experience or portray, behave, how depraved humanity can be, how sorrowful and painful life can be for some people. You've had the absolute courage and mastery to go to the darkest depths of what is possible for the human experience. And because you had the courage, the willpower, the discipline, and the strength to do so, you've come out the other side knowing everything there is to know about it. And it's not just on a personal level. You have so much to share now about how it really feels for people in these situations and circumstances. And you also gain so much compassion for people who are going through rough things in their life because you've been there, done that. Why was the time now? Like, what happened to lead up to this? What happened to lead up to this for Scorpio? Hold on, please be clear. What happened to lead up to this for Scorpio? And it's a long time coming, I'm getting, but you accepted that you're going to have to learn something brand new, and you're inspired to do so. And that means leaving this old way of being behind, something that you grew to be very familiar in. But at the same time, being in this energy and the state of mind is obviously going to have tangible effects on your life. And at some point, enough is enough. You also deserve light. You deserve hope. You deserve progress. You deserve joy and peace. So at this rate, you accept that this is going to be brand new for you. It's going to be having to remove a lot of the momentum that you have here, but you're energized enough to do it. You have enough desire to do it that you were ready. The desire has to be there. The will, when there's a will, there's a way. And when there's no will, there ain't no damn way. What's the highest possible outcome for you? Okay. This is going to take some time. Okay. It's not likely to happen this year. How I'm seeing this. But ultimately what this is leading up to is total empowerment, simple enjoyment of the beautiful things about life, everyday life. You will never take everyday beauty around you for granted again, because you will have gone from the darkest of dark to the lightest of light. This experience will give you so much in the polarity of the perspective, and Scorpio is all about polarity, that you will be so empowered because you know what it is to be disempowered. You will be so joyful and carefree and appreciative because you know what it is to be depressed and distraught. And what's the opposite of appreciative? Seeing everything as harmful and horrible. Damn, that's crazy. And then with the Queen of Cups, it's that free and open emotional support now that you can offer. You have so much emotional support to offer others who are in need. because of what you fucking been through. But you can't do that until you find your own joy. You can't do it now because that joy hasn't quite been accessed yet, so you don't have much to give. You have to kind of keep that for yourself just to keep yourself going. Totally fine. Totally okay for right now. But that's what's coming in future. Right now, was more about learning to authentically express yourself in all ways. That is a step along the path towards getting to this. What does Scorpio need to do with this issue this year to proceed towards their highest possible good? Keep that inspiration burning, that sense of self high on the priority list. Oh, shit. Stay strong and be patient with yourself. Enact some levels of self-discipline, sure, but ultimately you're creating something huge for yourself, a huge transformation. And part of the way that you will do this is with the patience of waiting to see how things play out. Patience with yourself and kind of the missteps along the way where you don't quite understand. But there's also messages here for you. There's messages in your own subconscious and with your higher self. You're watching a tarot reading, keep it up, keep looking for things like this to kind of help reaffirm your path along the way, or whatever ways make sense to you. What's the word of warning for Scorpio during this situation with their big issue in 2025? Judgment. If you still feel embattled by the world, if you're not ready or willing, courageous, really, enough to set aside your misgivings about people's intentions and willingly put yourself out there, you've got to put yourself out there. If you're not able to do that, you will miss your calling because you will not understand the emotional nuances of the messages that you'll be getting that will be being tried to be sent to you. Your purpose and your calling is at risk here if you can't do this. If you felt for so long that you had little purpose and you've been searching for it, it's on the table. But the thing is, you don't get to hear it, you won't understand it, and you won't be able to do anything about it if you don't put yourself out there in all ways. Both your happy and joyous feelings towards others and your negative and sad and dark feelings as well. You've got to put your heart on your sleeve 100%. And face the consequences. It's not that big of a fucking deal. Because I saw in the beginning, the cards were there. It was the world. It was over. You're not going to be hurt like that again. No one can hurt you like that again. Do you really think that someone can put you through worse than what you've already put yourself through? What's someone that can really inspire you? Something that someone else is really inspiring you, or someone else around you that is important or critical to the situation. Tower. Okay. This is not inspiring. This is inspiring in a different way. Hell yeah, though. When you look around at people around you, there's another pathway that's available to you. And that pathway involves a complete crash and burn, self-destruction, a mental headspace that is completely chaotic, wanting to go to war with absolutely everyone, but being ineffective completely. And all of that spiraling outside of your control. There may be someone in your life that, even another Scorpio, that has experienced this. And what did they do that's a cautionary tale for Scorpio? Six of Cups, Uranus reversed, and the Sun. Oh, and the Fool fell out. They weren't willing to really grow up, and they still had a very childlike attitude about the way that they should behave and how they express their emotions. And because of that, they became very erratic in a way that everyone could see. And they never got past the point of being the fool, the careless fool that just jumps off the cliff with no concern for tomorrow or their own survival or anything like that. And this is so different to everything else that I have seen from you in this reading that I just want to say that I don't think you're really in danger of any of this anymore. Not by a long shot. But I still think it's showing up for a reason that, like, it's to really support you and the gratitude for what you've been through. Because this other person, they never got past step one. And you've gained so much through all of this that now you have great wisdom and experience, and you've had to have strength and discipline through it all. And, you know, they never got that chance. And so they have no control over themselves. If you're afraid of that happening to you, I mean, from where you are now, you would have to fucking totally make a 180. But I think it can, I do think that their example can kind of help you be grateful for even the tough shit that you've been through. Because at least you were able to integrate it. At least you were able to understand something about life and about people, even if that thing was very dark. Without any understanding, you're just fumbling around like a fucking toddler or a lunatic. Literally, like, what's the word of solace for Scorpio? Six of Pentacles reversed. Page of Wands reversed. Or Knight of Wands reversed, yeah. Pentacles, okay. It's funny how the word of solace is like, even if it gets horrible, you'll still have this. Like, that's what the messages have been pretty much exclusively for everybody. Even if someone is greedy with you, tries to take your shit, even if someone tries to take your idea or your passion away, or even cheats on you, I want to say, because this is like the sex card. Even if the worst things that you're the most scared of happening, someone stealing your resources or your love, you will always have an ever renewable resource after that. You will never be without ever abundant resources. You know, and that's your word of solace. You have the power to attract everything that you could possibly want to yourself. You will never stop attracting. And it'll just keep getting better and better. If that's what's meant for you, If that's what happens, I haven't seen anything like that here. Just saying. But I understand it's something that you could be worried about. And the simple fact is, even if that happened, you'd be more than okay. No question, you'd be more than okay. First of all, you had the fucking strength to get through anything at this point. And second of all, you will always be provided for. You will always be provided for. All right. And what is the ultimate outcome of this big issue in 2025 for Scorpio? You're growing. You're expanding. You're gaining so much wisdom and knowledge and power. You've been through the darkness. You're on the other side. Eventually, you will get to the point where you start to see yourself in others because you're expressing yourself freely, so others are expressing themselves freely to you. And at the same time, you will get that Nine of Pentacles, peace and comfort and security, that wealth of luxury around you that you don't have to want for anything. I mean, you're still probably gonna have to work and shit like that. Let's not get totally crazy here, but like, it's the feeling of total security. You can live in the moment knowing that all of your needs are met. No matter what happens, you will be provided for. You will be okay. You have what it takes to make it through anything, any challenge that comes your way. Because you've mastered. You've become a master. Yeah. All right, let's get an advice card here just to help you along through this situation. Advice for Scorpio for their big issue in 2025. Just give them a little assistance, a good idea or help to get them through it. Called Soul Gifts and Training. It's time to step up. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. You came to Earth with a double mission, to grow as a soul and to bring about a shift in consciousness. The best way to fulfill these personal and collective purposes is to trust what it is your soul is calling you towards, for it's encoded within the most direct path forward. Your soul has many unique gifts that it came here to share. Some you may be already aware of, others you're just beginning to uncover. You're being called to remember that your soul intelligently chose the perfect conditions to carry out your soul's mission and share your soul's gift. Now that I do believe. That's kind of far-fetched. I do attempt in my readings to reach people from a basic level of understanding of spirituality, because there are readers that I watch, but they're talking about this whole other stuff and you got to be in the know and all this different shit. And your beliefs are your beliefs. You're here watching a reading, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily, you know, pagan or new age or whatever. You could be atheist watching this, right? But I am saying this now. I absolutely believe that we have a say, our souls have a say in what our personalities will experience here on Earth. I don't know that we're always all that clear-minded when we're up in the other world about how hard it's going to fucking be, which is why so much bullshit happens. But at the end of the day, I do think everyone is given to some degree, hopefully to the best degree, the skill, the talent, the know-how, the opportunities to overcome any challenge. Damn near all of them. Sounds a little airy-fairy, I know, especially to you Scorpios. I know how y'all be. If you're being called towards a creative project, a passion, or an adventure, this card is your confirmation that you're facing the right way and that this moment right here is destined. If you're feeling underprepared or thinking, who am I to do that? This card is guiding you to step up and leap, and consider perhaps that your soul has been training for this moment right here for lifetimes. And that's a powerful message, a powerful idea that we have been training for what we were doing right here, right now, for lifetimes, perhaps hundreds. That's all I got for you today. Scorpio, thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you like that, I also do Venus sign relationship readings every month, about the middle of the month. And typically, I also do rising sign readings for each month. And until I see you next time, bye.